Hello, everybody. Did everybody get enough to eat? Good food. Michael will be very proud of the staff. He would have many hours to get this, as he was saying. And no place too far. 4 hours to get a sandwich was no problem.
Pittsburgh for hot dogs.
Hot dogs, 6 hours to Pittsburgh, no problem.
But the ride was good.
Terrible hot dogs, but he still did it. Just for the sake of the ride. One time I had friends coming in from out of town, and they said, "Oh, about 4 o'clock. About 4 o'clock, we'll be ready to go. They know, let's get together and go out and get something to eat." So he calls me about 3:30, and I looked at my phone and looked at the time and said, "I better pick this up. Might be an emergency or something." It was 3:30 in the morning. He'd been out riding and eating all night long. And he said, "It's almost 4 now." "Okay, we missed you." I lost track of time. We were busy riding. Yep. So, riding not in a car. A bike. He liked to ride a bike. Yeah. And the food was always a big thing for him. Anytime he could eat, and Daytona, he'd be no problem grabbing a turkey leg for breakfast. Eat that, right?
Looked like T-Rex.
Right, T-Rex chewing on that. So, Diners and Dives, that should have been his show. He would have been on that, and he could have toured the country on a motorcycle with the camera following him around, and I think he'd have done a way better job.
Yeah.
So, we've all got plenty of stories to tell about Michael, and I know everybody's sitting here been telling them all day, and they go round and round and round and round. They told me there was a 2-hour time limit, so I cut it down to about an hour and a half, and we'll get everybody out here. But no, I wanted to throw a couple things out there, and Michael's been the longest standing member of Sovereign Motorcycle Club, and his wonderful friends and brothers have taken very good care of him and his pop. We know you're going through a hard time, and we're all there for you. Everybody will do anything they possibly can for you, anytime. All you need to do is let us know. So, but Michael was the kind of guy that was always giving back to everybody. He's some people go through life with a catcher's mitt on each hand, trying to get as much as they can. And he's one that he probably hardly ever picked up a catcher's mitt because he was always giving back to everybody else. Everybody here has had Michael touch their lives in some way or another. I'd like everybody just to take a second, and if you need to, close your eyes and think about Michael, and think about how he makes you feel. Just take a minute and what's some of the good things that you remember about Michael? How did he make you feel? Because they say it's not the things that you do, the places that you go, the things that you acquire in your lifetime. It's how you made people feel during your life. And I'm seeing people with little thoughts going through their head, and I see lots of little smiles going through the crowd. Because I don't think there's anybody that can think about Michael and not bring a smile to their face. He was absolutely genuine. He didn't have a bad or a mean bone in his body. He was everybody's friend from the time that you met him. He's the only guy I know who could walk into a room with 20 people and leave with 30 friends. Everybody knows that, because by the time he goes out, he doesn't just know you, he knows your friends too. And he's got a way to do that. So, I was fortunate enough to go out to Arizona for his services out there, and he's been out there with Deb for about a year and a half, and he thoroughly enjoyed every bit of it. He enjoyed the weather, got the ride. He'd be glad to call us up on Christmas Day and say it's 70 degrees and going out. And we're all jealous and hanging up on him and calling him names. But I got to attend his services out there, and I told some people a couple stories and things that have gone on over the years. About like 19 years ago, we started an annual camping trip with 3 of us, and we were both terribly camping impaired at this time. And if anybody knows him now, he's the expert camper. Camper, cooking, setup, everything, the whole 9 yards. I've been blessed and fortunate enough to have Michael in my life for almost 30 years. And it was hard to realize that at first. We all mourned his loss, and it was very hard for me to be out there, and especially when I didn't really know all of his friends. But I got to talk to a lot of them, and many of them came up to us after the ceremony, and the microphones were passed around. And if there's any solace in what has happened and that he is gone from our lives, it was that they came to me and said, I've only known Michael for a year or so, and you're so lucky to have had him in your life for 30 years. And I don't think anything could tell me anything better than that. So we need to celebrate his life and be grateful for the time that we had with him, because there's nobody I would have rather spent it with, and I don't think there's anybody in this room that feels they could get a better hug from anybody, or that they know someone that could make them feel better than Michael made everyone here feel. Thank you, everyone, for being here.